Welcome to Bridgewater State University.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome virtually to Bridgewater State University. I'm so glad you could join me this evening. My name is Justin McCauley, and I'm the Director of Residence Life and Housing. I want to thank you for joining me and coming to learn about our housing program and residence life here at Bridgewater State University. This evening, I hope to inform you on everything you need to know to help you not only make your decision to come to Bridgewater State University, but then also to make your decision to come live with us on campus, because we believe that living on campus is an essential part of the college experience and of helping students be as successful as they possibly can in squeezing as much value and juice out of the experiences they can get. And I'll give you some examples of that. I'll also talk to you about next steps and then answer some questions that you may have. So our goal in residence life and housing is to help students find their place in the BSU community. And there is a place or places for everyone in terms of finding your people, whether they be your friends that you live with in the residence halls, or friends that you connect with in classes, or a club, or an organization, or through an on-campus job, of which Residence Life and Housing hosts many, so that many of our resident students can work right here on campus or in the residence halls. But we want students to find their place within the BSU community. So why live on campus at Bridgewater State University? Well, I guess I'll start with, we've been very lucky that the institution surveys graduating seniors each year as they graduate to see what the university is doing right and what's benefiting them, and how we can do better. And for each of the last 3 years, our graduating seniors have indicated and shown that to a significant degree that resident students are reporting back that they make friendships that are important to them, and that they build a personal network, or they have friendships and relationships that they see to be long lasting beyond their time at Bridgewater State University compared to students. And that's for any student that lives on campus for 1 semester or more. So just getting your foot in the door, being on campus and being able to immerse and be in the mix with your peers helps to do that. It helps to create an environment that you just can't replicate anywhere else, to put you around hundreds of other students in a building where you're eating in the same places, you're attending the same events, you're getting to know folks in both formal and informal ways, and build connections that just are organic. And also build connections to folks that you may not have ever had the opportunity to interact with or connect with. They may come from different places, have different experiences than you. You're learning to engage and interact and build relationships with all kinds of different people. And that's one of the greatest advantages. Additionally, our graduating seniors have reported to us that to a significant degree that they've built stronger leadership skills. They're more confident in themselves as leaders. They've had opportunities to engage these leadership skills and put them into practice. They've been able to, part of being a leader is, of course, the important piece is people, is leading people in groups. And living in residential communities helps them to engage with people and other folks in groups, and gives them the ability to practice this, so that when they get out into the work environment after college, or when they're getting involved civically in their communities and working with folks on committees or groups or organizations, they've already had a chance to try on leadership, and they've had a chance to work in groups and know how to manage those dynamics. So these things our students have indicated to us benefit them. They also indicate to a significant degree, more than students who have never lived on campus, that they've developed a stronger desire to make a difference in their community. And part of that is because they've lived in a community where they're part of the everyday flow. They see how making a positive impact can directly affect their residence hall floor community, a whole building, a campus community. They see examples of upper class students who are serving as leaders and are impacting their community and can aspire into those positions. They connect with faculty members and staff members and administration, all around campus, and they can see the connective tissue of how their work impacts a community and makes a difference. So students get a chance to do that themselves as they take roles. And then one of the big ones is also our students have reported back to us each year to a significant level. They feel that they've developed problem solving and conflict resolution skills to a much higher degree, and they're more comfortable than their peers that have never lived on campus in terms of that. So, you know, and once again, this is something that you just can't replicate in other environments. When you are coming to a college campus, and first and foremost, you're learning how to live independently. You're coming to live on campus away from your personal networks. You're not living under the same roof as your family members or as the people that have been supporting you and important in your life. So you have to try on and practice developing skills in problem solving and fixing things for yourself. But then additionally, you're working and living amongst other folks that you're living in an interconnected type of way. So you're understanding how problem solving and working to compromise and working in an environment is important so that you can resolve conflict as opposed to avoid it, and then also be prepared in the future when you inevitably do find yourself in conflict with people you care about, coworkers, folks in your community, neighbors. You've already had a chance to negotiate and live through that. And the best part about that in this environment is you can do that with resources. You know, within the residence hall environment, you have folks like our resident assistants or our full-time staff or mentors here on campus who will work with you and help you to mediate, negotiate, work through to find win-win solutions and solve tough problems. And it's important to get those skills now so that later on in life you can work through and benefit from that. So the Residence Life and Housing Office as a whole is a large comprehensive residential program, and we offer 4 main roles, and these are supported through our staff. The first is residence life, and I've talked about this a little bit so far in terms of we have staff both in our main office, but most importantly in our residence hall facilities that are here to help our students be successful academically. And primarily we do that through making sure that you're adjusting to your transition to the university, that you're connecting with the resources that are there for you. If you're struggling, we're making referrals and helping you get to the places on campus that will be there to benefit you. And we also check in just to see when students need a nudge or need some support, or we make ourselves available for folks to ask for help. We're the eyes and ears. We check in with folks to make sure that they're adjusting okay. But then also when you are adjusting okay, we also help challenge and say, hey, have you tried looking at this? Have you gone out to get involved yet? Have you met this person down the hall that we know has been talking about the same goals that you've been talking about? So we're there to help both folks in a push kind of method and a pull kind of method on both ways. We also have a staff that works with housing assignments. And one of the great things about Bridgewater State University is that we let students customize their residential experience. And we do that right from the start. And what I mean by that, and where we're different than a lot of other programs, is that new students, first year students, freshmen, no matter how you're coming in, transfers, we let you customize your housing experience. So you will not only be able to identify, pair with, and live with roommates of your choice, but you'll also be able to, through our online selection process, in addition to selecting and grouping with roommates, be able to look for openings and select which residence hall, which floor, and which room you want to live in. We right now are beginning the process for returning students where they're preparing to select rooms. And then we will work also with, over the summer, our new incoming students to select their rooms and spaces. So you'll be able to look and see what our inventory is and have a sense for which residence hall and which space you might be wanting to live with. But most importantly, picking and connecting with people to be roommates. Oftentimes at Bridgewater, and we just surveyed our students this past fall to say, what's the most important thing to you when it comes to living on campus when you're making your decision? And our students resoundingly say, living with our friends, you know, our picking our roommates is the most important part. So we want to make sure that we're giving students the ability to do that. I had mentioned facilities management in the sense of the great option is on campus that You can have folks that will come to your room to fix a window if it's jammed, to fix your lock if it's not working, to change a light bulb, to switch the breaker if you blow a fuse. If you're having problems with your room or the equipment in your room, we have staff that'll take care of it. And then lastly, but most importantly, safety and security is first and foremost for us in terms of in all decisions we make. So as we set up for each year and as we provide service to our students, we're always mindful of safety. So in our residence halls, whether it's your BSU Connect card or your student ID, which serves as a key and gives you access to not only the front door of your assigned residence hall, and only the folks who live in your residence hall will have that access, just like yourself, but it'll also serve as the key to your room, so only you and your roommates will be able to access your room. We also have our, like I mentioned, the RA staff who lives in the hall, and our full-time staff who live in the hall that are eyes and ears in terms of being mindful of safety, from everything from fire safety to interpersonal safety. But then also we have front desk staff that provide security at the front desk to make sure that the folks and the items that are coming in the hall are the type of things that should be in the halls. Once again, it's students who live there, it's their guests that they're registering and signing in. We have a sense of who's in the buildings and then where to look if we need to track somebody down to provide assistance. So we take that very seriously. Here at Bridgewater State University, we believe our on-campus housing is not only a great place to live, but also a great place to learn. What better way to complement your college experience than by immersing yourself totally into the experience. At Bridgewater, we're very proud to be the largest of the state of Massachusetts state university schools in terms of a residential program. We have over 500 beds more on campus than our next largest competitor. And with that comes a lot of opportunity for students to get to know more of their peers and to network and connect with their peers, but also the resources that come with living in a community that large. The great thing about Bridgewater, and I can say this as somebody who's worked with our residential program for a long time, and having also for 18 years this summer, in fact, and having also attended and worked at other institutions, Bridgewater does a really great job of offering a large program and being a large campus, but also keeping that small community feel where you still recognize faces, where you still connect with your neighbors, where folks still hold the door for you and greet you when you come. It's a very friendly, congenial place. And I think that's one of the things that makes Bridgewater so special. Rachel, could I ask you, as somebody who currently is living in a first year area and has previously, what kinds of events and programs do you see first year students typically participating in the residence halls?
So typically in a first year hall, a lot of the residents really like the first programs that we do, especially so when there's free food. Everybody loves free food, so a lot of us will put on programs such as, actually all the halls do, we get programs where we host like football games, like a watching of the football game, and people love to come downstairs and do that because that's a great way to connect to the peers on the floors who don't necessarily know each other. And it's very scary coming into a first year hall. We were all first years once. I remember how scared I was. But we've been typically in the past few years seeing that people love to play video games. So a lot of our RAs will have, like personally, I have a Switch. We can bring it downstairs and play, host Super Smash Brothers. I've hosted Super Smash Brothers in both my first year hall and when I was in upperclassman hall, and it was a big hit. The other typical programs that they love to see is, like I said, we have the pool table, ping pong table, and it's a great way to connect with people where you have a common ground of, ooh, I'm interested in this thing, let me go downstairs, and people will participate and have fun and get to meet people. We also have other programs around campus that Program Council RHA hosts that RAs will offer to assist and walk our first year students to. I believe one of the first events that we typically do every year, RHA hosts the Hypnotist Show, which is a huge hit every single year. It's super fun. And a lot of the times the resident assistants will offer to walk the residents over there because they might not know anybody. And they love that connection point that we have. And I've even hosted smaller programs where I just sat there with my residents and we colored and we got to know each other. And it's really fun to have those touch points with your residents and your as an RA, because you get to make really like awesome lifelong connections.
Brittany, can I ask you, knowing between your classes and also your involvements, that there are a lot of times where you have to be going to either different buildings on campus or the theater or other pieces. How has living on campus helped you to have accessibility and connect to those things?
So I have a very busy schedule in a typical school year. As a theater major, I'm typically a part of the productions here. So there's rehearsals almost every night from like 7 to 10, as well as my different clubs on campus. That's afternoon involvement. So it's a lot of running around for me. So living on campus has been the hugest advantage to like, it's basically the only reason why like I can maintain all these things, because everything is within 15 minutes walk on campus. Like it's never more than a 15-minute walk to go from one side to the other. So living on campus gives me that time to be able to attend all the things I need to attend, but still have the time to study, relax, go get something to eat with my friends, all of that. So it's, I'm extremely grateful to live on campus, because I don't think I would have been able to maintain all these things without it.
Once again, my name is Justin McCauley. I'm the Director of Residence Life and Housing. We're really excited to have you coming to Bridgewater. We're looking forward to the fall and getting folks here on campus and making sure that folks enjoy their time and get back to connecting with folks. So thank you for joining us. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. That's what we're here for.